Farmers from across the United Kingdom are gathering in Whitehall. They are protesting against Labour's proposed changes to inheritance tax for agricultural businesses. This protest is organised by Save British Farming. It coincides with a debate in Parliament over an e-petition regarding tax exemptions for working farms. The petition has garnered 149,000 signatures in support of maintaining these exemptions. The proposed changes will impose a 20% inheritance tax on farms valued over £1 million. Previously, family farms were exempt from inheritance tax. These changes were announced during the budget by the Labour government. They are set to take effect in April 2026. The Labour government has stated it will not reverse these plans. Thousands of farmers are expected to protest at 1 p.m. Last year's protests attracted numbers. Political figures supporting the demonstration include Sir Ed Davey, Nigel Farage, and Kemi Badenoch. Television personality Jeremy Clarkson has also shown support. During the gathering, Mr. Farage addressed the farmers. He brought into light that there are 100 Labour MPs representing rural constituencies. He noted that public sentiment supports the idea that family farms should not be eliminated. Mr. Farage expressed confidence in winning this political battle. He urged the crowd to oppose what he termed death taxes. Tractors have already begun to assemble for the protest. The event will include speeches and a drive through central London. The autumn budget, presented by Chancellor Rachel Reeves, extends inheritance tax to agricultural land. This has drawn criticism from farmers across the country. The budget also freezes inheritance tax thresholds for an additional 2 years, extending this freeze until 2030. Currently, the first £325,000 of an estate is exempt from inheritance tax with amounts above the taxed at 40%. However, various allowances mean that the effective threshold for many is much higher. For agricultural land, the new tax rate will be set at 20% with a 50% relief available. Farmers argue that they are unfairly burdened by a system that the wealthiest individuals exploit to avoid paying inheritance tax altogether. The extension of inheritance tax to farms valued over £1 million has already sparked protests. Last year, farmers protested outside the Welsh Labour Conference in response to similar concerns. In light of these protests, Transport Secretary Louise Hay stated that food shortages could be addressed if farmers proceeded with their threat to strike over the proposed inheritance tax changes. Jeremy Clarkson, known for his series Clarkson's Farm, has been vocal in his criticism of the government's plans. He described the government's approach as ethnically cleansing the British countryside. He suggested that the Labour government aims to replace farmland with new towns for immigrants and wind farms. He believes that the proposed inheritance tax changes are intended to make farming increasingly difficult. In response to the e-petition, the Treasury reaffirmed its commitment to farmers. However, it emphasised the urgent need to repair public finances fairly. The Treasury stated that the reform of tax reliefs strikes the right balance. Parliament is scheduled to debate the petition. The petition warns that the impending changes could devastate farms nationwide. It suggests that families may be forced to sell land and assets merely to retain their properties. The outcome of this debate could have implications for the future of farming in the United Kingdom. Farmers are determined to make their voices heard in this critical moment. The protest in London aims to draw attention to their plight and advocate for the preservation of family farms.